Good Monday night, January the 31st, 2022. This is Granny coming to you from Granny's Old Hands. This is the last Monday in 2022, January the 31st. I'm dressed like this because remember last time we spoke, I said we would talk to the team and see if we could do something in honor of Black History Month. And I know officially it starts next Monday in February, but I ran across one of the first African American poets in the world, and I wanted to share her with you tonight. Couple announcements. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and now Twitter. We have a Granny's Old Hands Facebook reading page. And if I'm not mistaken, based on what the team said, we're up to 66 of you have joined. And if you go to it, you'll see I've made a couple of posts just thanking everybody. Becky, Bernetta, Sharon Scott. I'm just naming some people that have joined. I can't name everybody, but these are family members that think enough of me. Joyce Williams, Chelsea Guy, Tijana, enough people that in my family, Duke Starks, there are a couple of males. Can't call everybody's name, so just forgive me if I didn't call your name. But I am so honored that you would even follow me. So check us out, Granny's Old Hands ASMR Facebook page. Now, with all of that said, officially next Monday, we will start featuring other great acts of Black history. But tonight, when I got this information from one of the team members on Phyllis Wheatley, we said, we got to share this. So I'm going to read, and I'm going to try my best to look up. I put on all of the bling bling to honor her uh, that I thought necessary. This garment has the colors in it that I thought she would love if she would hear. And with that said, again, I thank everybody. Be patient. It's not that much, but I just wanted to share this with you. This is Phyllis Wheatley. A lot of us didn't learn about her in school because, we learned Sojourner Truth, we learned Harriet Tubman, but this, I believe, if you stay with me, you'll say, wow, I never knew that. Phyllis Wheatley. Despite spending much of her time enslaved, Phyllis Wheatley was the first African American and second woman after Anne Bradstreet to publish a book of poems. Did you guys hear that? She was the first African American and second woman. Wow. Yay, Phyllis. Yay. Born actually in 1753 in Gambia, Africa, Willie was captured by slave traders and brought to America in 1761. Upon arrival, she was sold to the Wheatley family in Boston, Massachusetts. Her first name, Phyllis, was derived from the ship that brought her to America, the Philippi. Can you believe that? Beautiful history. Beautiful history, my friends. Try not to cry. It's too early to cry. The team will say, there you go again, messing up that makeup. It says the Wheatley family educated her, and within 16 months of her arrival in America, she could read the Bible, Greek and Latin classics, and British literature. She also studied astronomy and geography. At 14, Whitley began to write poetry, publishing her first poem in 1767. Publication of an elegant poem on the death of the celebrated divine George Whitefield in Huntington, English counties. Willie traveled to London with the Wheatley's son to publish her first collections of poems, and it's called Poems of Various Subjects, Religion and Moral. The first book written by a black woman in America. It included a foreword signed by John Hancock, and we know who he was, and other Boston notables, as well as a portrait of Wheatley. There's a portrait of her, and then there's a statue of her that I found out about this week based on the information that the team provided me with, all designed to prove that the work was indeed written by a black woman. She was emancipated shortly thereafter. Wheatley's poems reflect the several influences on her life, among them the well-known poets she studied, such as Alexander Pope, Thomas Gary. Pride in her African heritage was also evident. Her writing style embraced the elegant, like from other African roots, where it was the Protestants, where it was the roles of girls to sing and perform funerals. Religious Religion was also a key influence, and it led Protestants in America and England to enjoy her work. Did you hear that? Protestants in America and England enjoyed her work. Enslavers and abolitionists both read her work, the former to convince the enslaved population to convert. Did y'all hear that? To convert, to change. Try not to cry. The latter as proof of the intellectual abilities of people of color. Although she supported the Patriots during the American Revolution, Willie's opposition to slavery heightened. She wrote several letters to ministers and others on liberty and freedom. During the peak of her writing career, she wrote a well-received poem praising the appointment of George Washington, first president of the United States, of George Washington as the commander of the Continental Army. However, she believed that slavery was the issue that prevented the colonists from achieving to heroism. In 1778, Willie married John Peters, a free black man from Boston, with whom she had 3 children, though none survived. None of her children survived. Efforts to publish a second book of poems failed. To support her family, she worked as a scrub woman in a boarding house. Did you guys hear that? Oh my God. While continuing to write poetry, Whitley died in December 1784 due to complications from childbirth. In addition to making an important contribution to American literature, Whitley's literacy and artistic talents, I'm turning the page, helped show that African Americans were equally capable, creative, intelligent human beings who benefited from an education. In part, this helped the cause of the abolition movement. Wow. Today, there are 55 surviving poems written by Phyllis Wheatley. It is believed that she wrote twice as many, but a house fire destroyed them. Phyllis Wheatley is notorious for having been the first woman and African American to publish a book. Wow. Wow. That's exciting for us today, 2022, to learn something about a great woman that maybe you wasn't taught in history books. It says, what was the purpose of Phyllis Wheatley's poem to George Washington? It said her poetry attracted the attention of eminent figures from King George III to Benjamin Franklin. See how big my eyes got when I saw that. In 1776, Whitley wrote to His Excellency General Washington an inspiring address to George Washington, which praised the American Revolution as a victorious cause. Washington then turned around and invited Phyllis to meet with him at his headquarters in Cambridge, Massachusetts. In 1776, later that year, Thomas Paine, and we know all these names, guys. Thomas Paine published a poem in the Pennsylvania Gazette, which was a newspaper. Now, take a break for a few minutes. Try not to cry. Please forgive me, but this just excited me, and I'm thinking, so much we don't know. Oh, Granny's old hands, and this is on Black History, but so much we don't know. I just found this amazing. One of the poems that she was famous for, I'm going to try to read it in the dialect that she wrote it. And it deals with on being brought from Africa to America. I'm sure many of you have heard this, but I want you to hear it again. I'm trying my best not to cry. It says, and this is the dialect, guys, so bear with me. "'Twas mercy brought me from my pagan land, taught my benighted soul to understand that there's a God, that there's a Savior too. Once I redemption neither sought nor knew. Some view our stable race with scornful eyes. Their color is a diabolical dye. Remember, Christians, Negroes, black as Cain, and we know where we hear about Cain, may be refined and join the angelical train. That was the poem that she was most famous for, on being brought from Africa to America. I don't want to take a break. I want to keep going. This is another poem that she's famous for, and it simply says, "A Hymn to Humanity." She was so engrossed in her belief. A lot of her poems do with humanity, religion, how we treat one another. Here we go. "Oh, for this dark testral ball forsakes his azure paved hall, a prince of heavenly birth, divine humanity, behold, what wonders rise, what charms unfold at his descent to earth. The bosom of the great and good, with wonder and delight he viewed, and fixed his empire there, him close compressing to his breast, the sire of gods and men addressed, my son, my heavenly fair, descend to earth, there play thy throne, to secure men's afflicted son, each human heart inspired to act in boundless unconfined. Enlarge the closed contracted mind, and fill it with thy fire. Quick as the word, with swift career, his wings his course from star to star, and leaves the bright abode, the virgin did his charm impart. There, God, then my raptured heart perceived the rushing God. For when thy pitying eyes did see the languished muse in low degree, then, at thy desire, descended the celestial nine. O'er me methought they designed to shine, and designed to string my lyre. Can Africa's muse forgetful prove on such a friendship fail to move a tender human heart in mortal friendship? Laura crowded, the smiling graces all surrounded with every heavenly art. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful piece of knowledge to learn in 2022 on this Monday night. I am so honored that the team, one of the team members, said, let's do Phyllis Wheatley. Now we know about a lot of people in Black history because we hear them all the time, but seldom have I heard anything about Phyllis Wheatley in my 71 years of living. With that said, Granny wants to invite you guys for the next 4 Mondays as we get other persons that we like to feature for Black History Month. Stay with us. Stay with us. If you remember anything, this poor baby was taken from her homeland at 7 and made a slave and then was sold to a family. My goodness, 7 years old. And yet, the Wheatley family decided that she was worth having an education. And they told you all of the things she did, all of the languages she spoke. The family educated her, and within 16 months of her arrival, she could read the Bible, Greek, Latin, classics, and British literature. She also studied astronomy and geography. At age 14, Wheatley began to write poetry. If that's not enough to inspire us, male and female, my Facebook reading friends, every day we get a chance to learn something new about ourselves. And it's just amazing at this junction in my life. I'm just telling myself, keep pushing, Celeste. Don't give up because somebody else allowed you to stand on their shoulders. Forgive me. So you could read this tonight, January 31st, 2022. You're reading something about a baby that was taken from her homeland and brought to America. And you say, well, she turned out pretty good. She learned all these different languages. That's a true story. But how many of us have been taken from our homes? So much to be thankful for. This is Granny, Monday night, January 31st, the last Monday. Where is 2022 going, guys? It'll be February, then March. Let's redeem the time. Let's get busy. Let's learn something new each day of Black History Month. Let's look up somebody that maybe we didn't even know about. Let's share it with our kids, our grandkids, our sisters, our brothers, because for me, as I said last week, one of my daughters said, "You're 71." True story. I'm gonna be 72. And I guess it dawned on her, sister girl, you may not be here much longer. But as long as I'm here and I have breath in my body, hear me good as I look into the camera with tears in my eyes. I'm gonna push forward. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna feel defeated. I'm not going to let anybody make me feel bad about the color of my skin, the size of Granny's big old hands, or even her big, beautiful lips. I'm happy to be here tonight. Please join us next week again as we feature our Black History Month. I showed you the pillow last week and the T-shirt, and so we're gonna go forward. If the team would allow me, well, I thought I was gonna show you the T-shirt again. Yeah, thank you. Here it is. Starting next Monday, Granny will be wearing this T-shirt. Says, "I am Black History." And we have a pillow that I'll show you again. And we'll feature somebody that maybe we didn't know that has written something. So with that said, please, there's a link that's going to tell you how to get to our Facebook Granny's ASMR page so you can join, you can subscribe, Twitter, Instagram. We're doing all we can to get Granny out there. Not so somebody can say, ooh, looky, looky, looky. But so somebody can say, I learned something tonight from Granny. I was able to take what she said and go the next step, guys. I told you last week, we have a shelf life. And it's getting closer and closer. And I don't care what nobody say, how much money you have, where you live, the ends of those bookshelves are closing in on us. Let's redeem the time. Let's take February, Black History Month, if that's what you want to call it, and look up somebody, share somebody with our kids. Our kids, do you know what happened? And I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go. At school last week, I asked, I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and they look like me. And so I was playing the Lion King to kind of put a settling on the room. And so we were talking about uh, the Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney Houston to the kids. And we said, you guys remember Cinderella? I ain't nobody know no Cinderella. So I said, well, guys, don't you know who Whitney Houston was? Don't you know who Brandy was? Nah. But they named Nicki Minaj. And I'm saying, okay, I even know who she is. But when we started asking them about people of color that you think everybody would know, excuse me, trying to fight back the tears, but this is Granny, January 31st, 2022. We got a lot of work to do, Grannies. I keep talking about coming out of the closet, but we even got a deeper closet to come out of if we're going to help our babies. Thank you for joining us tonight. Look, team, look, this has little sparkles in it. I thought, man, they be hooking Granny up, and I love this. I wish I could stand up. But thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next Monday night. Have a good rest of your week. Remember, Tomorrow is February 1st. It's a new week. Thank you so much for joining Granny. See you next week. Like us on Facebook, YouTube, subscribe. Thank you for our managers. Thank you for our production team. Thank you for our person that puts our Facebook page together. I'm not going to call no names because I'll forget somebody. But thank you for trusting me to come into your homes this Monday night. This is Granny. One last time. See you next week. Bye.